Abby's View. I find myself back in the present and am still watching the goats milling in and out of the shed that is up by the hoist barn. There are only two of them left here on Lordan Farms. They mostly stay in the fields by day and go into the big hay barn out in the middle of the field at night. I can easily see them even when they are in the barn because they really like to stick their heads out of the big hole on the north side. It used to be a little tiny hole, and I could barely see a nose or maybe a horn sticking out from time to time. That is not the case anymore, as some of the cattle got into the hayfield one day, and as they wandered about, at least one of the cows decided they wanted to peek inside the barn. The hole was way too small for that, but in short order, the hole was big enough for the cow to stick her whole head in and look around. I don't know which cow started the widening process, but before too long, and without a lot of effort, that hole was made much larger, and now the goats have a new way in and out of the barn. I don't think the cows can totally get through the hole, but they sure can put a lot of themselves in. It was kind of funny watching them back themselves out of the hole with a whole lot of shimmying and shaking. It is rare that the goats come up to the small shed anymore. There used to be a lot more of them, and they were always running in and out of the shed and in through the hoist barn and up the ramp and all over the place. It was especially fun when all the young were being born. The kids were everywhere, running and prancing and rearing up on their hind legs, bucking and kicking and dodging in and out of each other. Every once in a while one would juke when it should have jagged, and there would be a minor collision. All the other kids would roar with glee, and the does would smile and be bursting with pride over their little ones. Belle and I could watch them all day long, and on occasion we used to touch noses with them through the fence. Cassie never really did like that so much. I think she liked them well enough. She just didn't want to get that close. The goats could never find their way into the yard, as it was all fenced with woven wire. Not only was there woven wire, but there was also a strand of barbed wire near the bottom. That was quite sufficient for keeping the goats in, but it did not deter Belle and me from getting out into the fields. They were having way too much fun for us not to join in. Cassie did not like the barbed wire and would stay clear of it. She told us of an accident she had just a few months before we came to live with them. Although it was quite frightening and sounded horrific, it did not keep us from sneaking under. As soon as Laura or Dan would turn their backs, we would find just the right spot and turn on our sides and wiggle and force our way through, ignoring the barbs that would catch on our fur. Once our heads were through, it was game over.